Hey guys, Sam from Manfa Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It's so great to have you here and please do stick around a while. Okay, so you know how it goes, guys, especially if you are a content creator. You are always trying to think of new ideas for your channel, what content you can put on, trying to think of what your audience might like to watch, whether you have regular segments, you just wing it, you only do 2 a day or every day, whatever the case may be. As a content creator, you are always trying to think of something new, something exciting, something worth watching. Now, I'm not going to guarantee that this video is going to be exciting, but I think it is going to be a little bit different. I am trying to think a little bit outside of the box. I don't know if anyone else has done this before me. If they have, then I am not trying to pinch the idea or step on anybody's toes. I am just trying to do things as they crop up in my mind. And I personally have never seen a content creator do a segment like this one is going to be. Now, I don't know whether this is going to be a regular segment as in every week, or whether it's going to be a segment that just pops up as and when. So, as you can see from the title of the video, it is called Have You Ever Wondered? And you're probably thinking, well, have I ever wondered what? Well, obviously, guys, that is what I am here to talk about today. So, I don't know if ever you've been making a project before and you look at the stats on a yarn band, and as fibre artists, and fibre users and fibre crafters, we don't always take the suggested advice on the ball band. And what I mean by that is they give you a suggested hook size, needle size, that kind of thing. Now, normally I have favourite size hooks for, say, favourite weights of yarns, and sometimes I will follow what the pattern recommends, sometimes I'll do it my way, and sometimes, to be honest, I don't even look at the yarn band half the time to see what hook that they recommend, because I either go with the pattern suggestion, or because I know I am an incredibly tight crocheter, that I will go with a hook size that I think would work better. So say, for example, I was working with a 3-weight or DK yarn. They normally recommend a 4mm, I believe. And that is my favourite hook to use with a DK or 3-weight yarn, but mine always comes up small because I crochet incredibly tight. So if I am trying to meet gauge for a pattern, then I might even have to go up to a 5, 5.5, sometimes a 6. So as you craft, over time you start to work out what works for you better, what doesn't work for you, whether to take the recommendations or whether to go by your own experience and change it up a little bit. But I had a little bit of a I wonder the other day. Now, I have been gifted with an awful lot of beautiful, beautiful yarn from beautiful, beautiful people here on YouTube as Happy Mail. And some of it, they are one skein wonders. And sometimes you struggle to find a project to go. Now, that is not a complaint, that is not a criticism. I love all the yarn that I have received and I am incredibly grateful and thankful for it. But it got me wondering what I could do with it. So I pulled it off of the shelf, and in this instance I am talking about a skein of I Love This yarn from Hobby Lobby. This was gifted to me in Happy Mail. Now, if you are unfamiliar with I Love This yarn, then I will give you the stats. It is 100% acrylic, it's a 4-weight. You can wash up to 40 degrees Celsius, you can tumble dry, do not iron, do not bleach, and you can dry clean. 7 ounces, 199 grams, 355 yards or 325 meters. And this was made in Turkey, and I had the skein in the colourway Tropical Pink, and I only had one. Now, I'm not a big hat maker because I knew that I would probably be able to get a hat out of this. I don't normally wear scarves or cowls, so I knew I could probably get a cowl or something, maybe using it with something else as well. But I don't really like to make things that I am not going to get any use out of, or I have no one to gift them to. So then my brain started whirring a little bit more, and I'm thinking, well, I love pink. Pink is my favourite colour after rainbow. And I'm like, what can I use that skein of yarn for? And I'm thinking, and I'm thinking, and I'm thinking. And I'm looking at the ball band, and I'm thinking, well, they recommend 5mm needles or a 5.5mm crochet hook. And this is a 4-weight, remember, guys. And normally I would use a 5, not a 5.5, which would mean that it's even tinier when I crochet with it because I'm a tight crocheter. So I'm like, maybe I should use the recommended hook size, but what am I gonna make? So I got out my 5.5mm Clover and More, because Clover and Moors are my favourite hooks to use. So let's see, so it's an I 5.5, and there we go, Clover and More, the metal end. So I'm like, right, so I've got the yarn and I've got the hook. What am I going to make? Well, you guys know that I have been a little bit obsessed with granny squares lately. I absolutely love them. They are the perfect mindless thing to make. And I thought, well, I don't really need another blanket yet because it's not going to be enough for one of my memento blankets. It's just a one skein. And I'm also trying to do the hashtag Shop My Stash 2023. So this fits because it is a skein of yarn in my stash, but it's got to be used for a purpose, and I don't want a hat and I don't want a cowl. I'm not planning on making any pink toned amigurumis either. So I'm like, what shall I make, what shall I make? And I am stuck on the granny squares, but I don't need a blanket. And then I thought, well, make a blanket anyway, and then you could donate it. Lots of people on YouTube donate their makes. I'm sure I can find somebody that would want it, whether it's a family member, a friend's child, or I could even contact the local residential homes around here, the old people's homes, to see if they would like the blanket. Or, I don't know, maybe one of the little nursery schools for the kids, what you guys would call kindergarten, that sort of thing, or preschool. They might have use for a blanket. There's bound to be somewhere that would take the blanket if I make it. So I'm like, right, I've got my yarn, I've got the recommended hook size, and now I'm going to make granny squares. So the question today, guys, is, have you ever wondered how many granny squares you can make out of I Love This Yarn using the recommended hook size? Well, I did wonder, and I found out. So I'm going to count them out for you. I'm going to give you a minute to put down in the comment section your guess of how many you think I could have got out of this skein of yarn. Remembering it's a 4-weight, there's 355 yards, and I'm using a 5.5mm hook, but I am a tight crocheter. Now, if you guys do this experiment, you may have a completely different number of granny squares to me because your tension will be different to mine. I may have got a few more out of this because I crochet so tight. If you're a looser crocheter, you may get less. But this was the experiment I carried out. Have you ever wondered how many granny squares you can get out of I Love This Yarn with a 5.5mm hook? Now, most of you are watching this going, no, Sam, we haven't. But I'm sure you're going to tell us, Sam, aren't you? Well, yes, I am, because you never know. Some of you may watch this, and it may be a fun little crochet experiment for you to do. You grab one of your skeins of I Love This Yarn and your 5.5mm hook. Maybe you want to see how many you get. If you're in between projects or your projects are too intensive at the moment, just try it out, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys, especially over the pond, have got a lot of this in your stash, and if you make granny squares out of it and put them all together, you will very quickly have a blanket to donate if you don't want to keep it yourself. Now, I don't have a lot of I Love This yarn left. Let's have a look. I do have this one, which is camouflage, and I think this is I Love This yarn as well. So I might do the same with these, but I do believe these are slightly different in specs anyway, because they are the print, not the solid. So that will be for another day. And the pink camo in particular will go with the pink that I chose. What was it? Tropical pink. So I will make more squares and complete a blanket to donate, but I am shopping my stash, putting some of my stash to good use because I have no other idea what to do with it. Somebody gets the benefit of it at the end of the day when it is made, but also I get to do these little experiments along the way with it. So I don't know if this is of any interest to you whatsoever. I don't know if you're going to want this series to continue. But if you have a crochet experiment for me, if there is something you have wondered before but have never tried, let me know. If I have the specific yarn, if I have the hook size, and I have the time, you never know, I might carry out one of your suggested crochet experiments that you put down in the comments, because I actually really enjoyed doing this. Now obviously if you use this skein of yarn to make anything other than granny squares, your results will be different. This is this yarn, this hook, and granny squares, and I will let you know that each granny square is 6 rows. So how many, have you ever wondered how many 6-row granny squares you can get out of I Love This yarn with a 5.5mm hook? I did wonder, I found out, and I'm sharing the results with you today. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I managed to get 10 6-row granny squares out of that one ball of yarn. There you go, all there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now remember guys, I do crochet really, really tight, and what your results might be different. And I'm sure a lot of you have not got the time to carry out this experiment alongside with me, and that is not what I am asking you to do. It was just something that occurred to me, something that was intriguing me, and something that I had to find out for myself. And because it is crochet and yarny content, I thought I would come on and do this video and explain my little crochet experiment. So I got my 10 squares, which I have just shown you, and all I had left was this. Hardly anything at all. So I now have 10 granny squares to start making a blanket to donate. That will make me feel good that someone is getting some use of this yarn. The yarn is not just sitting on my shelf, not having a purpose, and because it was a one skein wonder, it doesn't matter because I can mix and match it with other yarns in my stash to complete the blanket. It's gonna have a purpose. So by doing this crochet experiment, I have hashtag shopped my stash 2023. I have used a one skein wonder. It will become a blanket when I do more squares, and it will be donated. So for me, that ticks a lot of big, beautiful, positive boxes. And you never know, I might be back with this one next because it's print, to see how many I can get out of that. Now, yes, and actually it is not a print, it's an ombre. It's I Love This Yarn ombre, and it is in the colour pink camo. It is a 4-weight, but this one is only 5 ounces or 142 grams, 252 yards or 230 meters. So there is 103 yards different, but it's still recommended the same hook size. So there is over 100 yards less. So I think I'm only going to get 6 out of this one, maybe 7. But who knows? Who knows? Will I be back with this, or will I be back answering a different crochet question of, have you ever wondered? So guys, this is just a one-off for now. I don't know if this will become a mini series or not. Let me know down in the comments whether you enjoyed this, whether this is an idea that I carry on with, or whether you enjoyed the video but you don't really see it going anywhere. And that is absolutely fine. Your feedback really helps. I only want to make content that you want to watch. If you don't like it, tell me and I will think of something else. But that was your yarny goodness for the day and the crochet. I have 10 beautiful squares to start making a blanket that somebody will get use from, and my stash will be decreased, and One Skein Wonders will be used. So if there is anything you have ever wondered, if there is anything that you would like me to try out, pop it down in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more of these crochet experiments, and I will see what I can do. Thank you so much for your time today. I really do appreciate it. I will be back soon, but until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one or around the YouTube streets. Bye guys. Love you.